with all the stories making the headlines now this Sunday night. It's the ITV News at 10.
Nearly 500 protesters are now known to have been killed in Iran. As body bags mount up, the US and Israel spoke again about possible military intervention, prompting the regime to warn it will strike back if Trump gets involved. Also tonight. 3 teenagers feared among 4 dead in a head-on collision in Greater Manchester. And more misery for managerless Manchester United, dumped out of the FA Cup by Brighton.
This is ITV News with Yasmin Bodalbhai.
Good evening. Donald Trump has repeatedly said he'll intervene in Iran if the regime kills protesters. Tonight came confirmation of at least 500 people dead and thousands more arrested. Today, the US and Israel spoke again about possible military intervention, forcing Tehran to respond, saying it will retaliate if America strikes. It's also declared 3 days of national mourning, not for the protesters, but for those cracking down on them. Ellie Pitt reports. In an area south of Tehran, the sound of grief fills the air. This street has become an outdoor morgue where families collect the bodies of their loved ones. They've destroyed these innocent young lives, a man can be heard saying. ITV News has identified the location of this footage as outside the Forensic Diagnostic and Laboratory Centre near the Iranian capital. It is understood to be where at least some of those who have died during the demonstrations have been brought. They're bringing the bodies off the lorries, a voice in the video says. An American human rights news agency reports that nearly 500 demonstrators and almost 50 members of security forces have been killed during the protests. And in the same video clip, crowds gather round a screen inside that appears to show the faces of the dead, which we have blurred. Beneath each image is a date, the 9th of January 2026. Tonight, cries on the streets for an end to the current leadership continue. The government is doing what it can to stop these images getting out by shutting off the internet. But satellite technology is being used to show the world how after 2 weeks of protests, the regime's control seems to be crumbling. And Ellie's here. Ellie, growing calls now for the US to stick to its promise and intervene. Yes, Yasmin. I mean, last week President Trump said that he would strike Iran hard if the regime started killing its own people. And last night he reiterated that promise, saying that the US is ready to help Iran reach its freedom. Now, there are growing calls for him to honour his word in that way, particularly after that footage that you saw in my report has been shared widely on social media online tonight. We do know that there have been talks between the US and Israel about potential military action, but it's not clear if the US will get involved. Iran has said it will retaliate if that happens. What we do know is that these protests, which have been going on for 2 weeks now, do not seem to be showing any sign of slowing down. No. Ellie, thank you. 3 teenagers are thought to be among the 4 who died in a 2-vehicle crash in Bolton. Footage obtained by ITV News shows a taxi travelling down Wigan Road in the early hours of this morning, moments before a head-on collision with another car. 5 injured passengers were also taken to hospital.
This was a devastating incident for all those involved, none more so than the families of those deceased. This was a particularly challenging scene for colleagues in the emergency services. This is a tragic reminder of the importance of safety on our roads.
Drivers in England can now see how good or bad their local roads are for potholes. The Department for Transport has brought in a new rating system for local highway authorities. They're labelled red, amber or green based on road conditions and how effectively they're spending government money. Barnaby Papadopoulos has the details.
They are the scourge of the nation's roads. The government has pledged to fix 1 million potholes across England every year this Parliament, but they haven't quite reached this road in Hertfordshire.
Potholes are the number one issue for 96% of drivers. Pothole-related incidents can be tyres, broken wheels, suspension or steering, so it costs hundreds and sometimes thousands of pounds.
In the autumn, the government announced over £7 billion of funding for roads. Today, they revealed which local authorities are succeeding at tackling the pothole problem. This new map rates each one as green, amber or red.
It's actually about giving the public a mechanism to be able to see how well their local authority is doing, and it really shouldn't be too much to ask in 21st century Britain that we can fix the potholes.
The map allows people to see how well their local authorities are doing at fixing an issue that affects so many.
Before these become sort of 100%. I mean, you can see them there in front of you on the road in the middle of St Albans.
You try to avoid them if you can, yes.
I think they're pretty bad, especially when you're driving a Fiat, because you feel everything.
The Conservatives say this map alone won't stop cars being damaged by potholes. The government will hope it encourages local authorities to work harder to fix them. Barnaby Papadopoulos, ITV News in St Albans.
The Conservatives say they would ban under-16s from accessing social media if they win power. A similar ban is, of course, already in place in Australia. Our political correspondent Harry Horton joins me now. And Harry, is this a policy that the government would look at?
Well, the official government position is that there are no plans for a ban on social media for under-16s. It says that existing powers in the Online Safety Act are among the most strong in the world, but the government says it is monitoring the situation in Australia closely, where, of course, it recently became the first country in the world to ban under-16s from social media. Here in the UK in recent months, MPs privately are increasingly saying they think the debate is moving in the direction similar to Australia. Today, a leading teaching union said it believes social media was affecting behaviour and mental health in schools. The Greater Manchester Mayor, Andy Burnham, called for the government to take much bolder action. And the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, perhaps sensing where this debate is going, said if she was Prime Minister, under-16s would face restrictions on social media.
We want to bring in age limits. The internet is a world where social media in particular, we don't think children should be on there. And we want the industry to see the direction of travel so that we can start working with them now in order to get the proper solutions in place.
Some social media companies are running quite high-profile campaigns at the moment on what they see as the benefits of their platforms. But look, if what is happening in Australia is seen to be of benefit to children there, we could see lots of other countries, including the UK, following suit.
Yeah, Harry, thank you. In the FA Cup, it was a better day for the bigger clubs, with one exception. Manchester United's season took another turn for the worse. Without a permanent manager, they were knocked out at home by Brighton. Here's Chris Scudder.
After Ruben Amorim stepped forward into the United hot seat, the interim Darren Fletcher. Ironically, it was one of Fletcher's old United teammates, Danny Welbeck, who played a big part in ruining his big day. Setting up the first goal for Brian Gruder. Come on, didn't really cut it for the first half. So the interim boss came out for the second like an evangelist, preaching to the Old Trafford faithful. It was a family day too for the Fletchers. His teenage twins, Jack and Tyler, were on the subs bench. But if the twins want a role model, look no further than the veteran Welbeck, who finished United off with a beauty. His old mentor, Sir Alex Ferguson, didn't like it one bit. United did pull a goal back in the dying minutes through Benjamin Sesko, but it wasn't enough. They even had youngster Shea Lacey sent off for 2 yellow cards. The 13 times FA Cup winners are now out of all of this season's cup competitions, and we're barely into the new year. Big job ahead for whoever takes charge on a permanent basis. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
Finally, Hollywood's gearing up for the Golden Globes, with Hamnet and Adolescence leading the British charge for the top awards. This is the scene live from Beverly Hills, where the ceremony will start in just under 3 hours. You can find out who the big winners are by tuning into Good Morning Britain tomorrow from 6 o'clock. But from us, that's it for tonight. From all of the team here, sleep well. Good night.